Sri Madhava Mahotsava, written by Srila Jiva Goswamipada. Purnamasi brings Krishna. Understanding everything, Purnamasi asked Parvati, "Oh Bhavani, is this the proper moment for my desires to come true?" Bhavani replied, "In this world, Vraj is the only suitable place for the jivas. Here, Krishna can bestow blessings on those aspiring for love." Smiling, Purnamasi said, "See my mystic powers." Saying this, she pulled Hari, his head bowed and slightly smiling, from his hiding place and brought him to the Abhishek Mandap. The glory of Krishna. As a black flickering cloud embraced by lightning in proximity to the moon becomes bright and lights up the water, dark Murari, wearing a yellow cloth, exhibited great unsteadiness in front of Radha and diffused condensed ras. As the peacock shows great attachment upon seeing the clouds and spreads its tail to assume a dark color, Krishna, with his peacock feather ornament, gunja beads, and his hair bound in a top knot, became eager for the rain of Radha's Abhishek. As Cupid is smiling, equipped with flower arrows, gives enjoyment to his wife Rati, has the insignia of the Makara, and disturbs the hearts of mankind. Similarly, Krishna, with his Makara earrings and with the flower arrow of his smile, which excites even Rati, melts the hearts of all attending the Abhishek. The expansive sky, with all its stars, welcomes the full moon with the Vishaka Nakshatra on the Purnima Tithi. Similarly, Krishna's chest, with its beautiful jewel necklaces, tries to unite with the body of Radha, decorated with 23.5 moons, during the festival arranged by Purnamasi in order to create even greater beauty. The intoxicated elephant had arrived to bathe the lotus women with showers of nectarian sounds from his flute, which he held in his trunk-like hand. Where can we see such events? Nourished by the auspiciousness of the Abhishek, shining nicely like banana trunks, reflecting the lamplight, and wrapped in cloth decorated with a jewel belt, Krishna's ties took on an extraordinary beauty. He, whose luster conquers the moon, whose youthfulness agitates Cupid, whose excellent qualities make him the Acharya, who holds deep love within, and who expresses more affection for his beloved than himself, became controlled by Radha. The birthplace of sweet nectar, whose youthfulness is the origin of the luster of bright jewels, the ocean of Ras, Shama Sundar, along with his dear friends, endowed with similar taste, bathed Radha in an ocean of Ras. Beauty of the limbs. Knowing well in advance that at the public place there would be no opportunity of uniting their two bodies, did the two beautiful bodies now quickly unite? The shining musk ointment of Shyamasundar enhanced the flashing beauty of Radha, and her radiance enhanced his black form. The mixing of their colors produced a natural perfection. On the testing stone of Krishna's body, Radha's golden lines were revealed. Is Cupid testing this golden woman, overcome with love? Nowhere can be found such effulgent blackness, and nowhere can be found such golden effulgence. Can one executing austerities for a long time attain this ocean of beauty of the young couple? It is not astonishing that the beautiful effulgence of the divine couple, excited by the festival, made the lotus eyes of the heavenly women blossom, and infinitely increasing the ocean of bliss of the Sakis. Though Hari was eager for Radha, he became embarrassed seeing elders in all directions. Thus, though Radha's eyes moved here and there in a crooked manner, the public was full of bliss, and the Sakis were ready to burst. With profuse goosebumps, they remembered the prediction. Murari will have the heavenly women bathe Radha and make her the ruler of Vrindavan. O eyes, your enjoyment of sweet love has now arrived. Krishna's glance and the chapter conclusion. Desiring to see the Abhishek of Radha, who is endowed with all good qualities, Hari murmured to himself, Radha must look towards me at least once. Then Radha threw a sidelong glance in his direction. Spreading a smiling countenance at her own festival, humbling the most worshipable women, offering various emotions like a river to Hari, and overwhelming with beauty generated from a whirlpool of pride, made the remarkable eyes of Radha, the intimate friend of Lalita, be forever glorified. I eternally serve beautiful Krishna and my Guru, who drowned me in an ocean of mercy, who gave their lotus feet to this childish fool, who was almost dead, and seeing my whimsical nature, protected me with their affectionate glances. Chapter 7 Abhishek Arrangements. Seeing the smiling eyes of Purnamasi as she prepared for the Abhishek brought happiness to everyone present. Had good fortune herself bestowed on Purnamasi the garland of permission to begin the festival, as the moon on the Purnima Tithi automatically destroys all darkness and makes the roaring ocean overstep its shoreline, the moon of Gokula Krishna, with express permission and blessings of blissful Purnamasi, sounded his flute to destroy all obstacles, such as Padma, and inaugurate a grand festival filled with music. Murari playfully made a competition between the flute and the festival. With the flute he bewildered all living entities, and with the joy and grandeur of the festival, he quickly revived them. Of all the extraordinary events in the festival, the most remarkable was that everyone became a musical performer. Individuals in each group took up dancing and singing according to their style, and then exchanged styles with other groups. At this Abhishek, the celestial music was the rumbling clouds. The dancing of the Apsaras was flashes of lightning, showering of flowers was sheets of white hailstones, and the Gandharvas singing was the streams of sweet nectar. The flowers that the Devatas showered were mango buds with pollen, one of Cupid's love arrows. When 5 colored powders, turmeric, rice, kusumba, burnt tussa, and bilva leaves, fell on Radha, who was full of desire for Krishna, she appeared to change color. Singing the 5th note, the singers conversed with the cuckoos, the veena players accompanied the humming bees, and the dancers kept step with the peacocks. How is it that the winged creatures united with the human species? When all the auspicious elements joined in this way, Uma, taking permission from her followers, Chaya and Sanja, began the glorious worship of Radhika. Could any other coronation compare to this? Everyone's eyes seemed to burst in joy as the worship before the Abhishek began. Did they swell up in order to more fully taste the beauty of the event by some yogic powder? Or did they fill with the increasing beauty of the worship? All the rituals that Uma performed with beautiful flowers, durva grass, puffed rice, and white mustard purified by mantras pleased Radha and the assembly. Uma placed the auspicious arghya on Radhika's head. In the eyes of the assembly, the arghya seemed to be a most valuable item, whose beauty defeated that of the gates and the archways. While offering padyam, Uma said, "O Radha, we are approaching you now and will also come in the future with a desire to participate in your pastimes on the banks of the Yamuna. So you need not to pay any respects to us." The drops of the Achamanyam water that Uma offered to Radha contained the reflection of Hari's lotus face. With trembling lips, Radha uttered cries of ecstasy as she touched the various parts of her body. Last part of Achamam. It is a fact that when a person has great desire for an object, anything related to it gives joy. Thus, when Uma offered Madhuparka, Radha felt completely satisfied, thinking that it contained a little of the remnants of Hari's lips. After all the articles were offered, Radha received Achamyan again. At this time, Radha appeared like the sun in just a month, summer, destroying their darkness in all directions with her brilliance. Uma then offered various scents, aguru, chandan, kasturi, kumkum, and flowers. The loud buzzing of the bees seemed to make Krishna's heart dance. While Uma offered aguru, incense, to the limbs of Radha, Krishna's heart became scented with many desires. The ghee lamps Uma waved before Radha kindled many loving feelings in Krishna's heart. As changes in the environment immediately affect those within it, similarly, everything affecting Radha also affected Krishna. Uma then performed arati with a jewel bowl containing fresh barley, durva grass, ashwatha branches, and flower buds. At that time, it seemed that the eyes of the whole assembly were performing arati to Radha well. The quick execution of all the preliminary worship left Purnamasi standing speechless in ecstasy. But the tears in her eyes gave permission to the young girls waiting to perform their duties. To destroy obstacles to the Abhishek, she performed the Vasudhara rites, drawing 5 or 7 lines of ghee on a well to satisfy Chediraj. This act satisfied the hearts of pious people, but not the heart of Purnamasi, because Radha and Krishna were not yet united.